Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. It turns out Gaijin has started to go after some of the leakers when it comes to War Thunder. Now, we've talked about this over the last few months, the issue that has been happening. There's been more and more leaks of information about what has been going on, and it seems like it's got to a point where Gaijin want to do something about it. And it's going to be interesting to see the fallout of this, to be honest. It's either going to go very well or very badly, depending on how you see it. And in this video, we'll go through what has happened. We'll also talk about many of the other kind of things that may happen in the future, and also who's involved and what's going on. So, if you enjoy this type of content, make sure to subscribe and also like the video. Let's get into it. So there is a leaker who is known as Olivia Tendies. Olivia Tendies is the leaker who usually leaks stuff which is a bit more in the future than the standard update leaks. And Olivia put out a statement. It says, "Hey everyone, no more leaks from me. Gaijin has sent me a C&D, which means cease and desist. Apparently, they do not like the posting of the content of VROM's files anymore, because that is where I got all my info. I don't know what this means for Zabby, because he also reads the content from VROM's files. This is a file format for which Gaijin provides tools to read and in the past has given permission to post the content of. As far as I know, there has been no public retraction of this previously stated permission. I would describe where in the VROM files the information is, and while the file format is open source, I will not post anything in regards to War Thunder content at the moment. The leak server has been deleted along with all the posts." So basically they've nuked everything, so Gaijin can't get access to anything, which is not always a good idea. It's not a great sign if you're doing that. But then again, I suppose at the end of the day, it's protection. Cease and desist has been allocated to Olivia. Now, this sucks, obviously. It sucks that Gaijin has felt like it has got to this point. But it's also something that I've been talking about maybe the last year or so. The leaks with War Thunder have kind of gotten out of hand, because every update now is fully leaked before it comes out, usually after the first devlog, and then also at the same time, future content has also been leaked over the last year, whether it is the seed bombing missions, whether it was the FPS stuff that was talked about, or whether it was many of the other parts. And it was just kind of insane how much information was actually coming out. Now, if this was all found from the files, then it'll be interesting to see if Olivia actually uses her legal right to be able to fight these things. But at least reading through the comments, that doesn't seem to be the case. Now, if you don't know who Olivia is, Olivia used to be a person called Mike 10D when it came to the War Thunder community, and now she is Olivia Tendies. She's been in the community for an extremely long time. Over a decade. I remember posts from ages ago talking about, the stuff that was in the files and things that were coming, and has been a long-standing member of the War Thunder community. And it seems like it's just got to a point with Gaijin where they are finally doing something about the leaking. Gaijin usually has actually just been fine. Well, fine is not the right word about the leaking, but they have kind of let it happen in a way because they haven't actively gone after people. Or maybe it just took them this long to find out who these people are, which in the case of Olivia, I don't think is the case. Might be for the other guys though. But this also might be the first hammer to fall on pretty much all of that community. And it sucks, it really does. But at the same time, for me, it's not a surprise. We talked about it a few days ago, and we talked about it over the last few months. The vigilante leaking has been a little bit crazy. And even after talking about it the other day, personally being threatened to be banned from the server, and also at the same time, supposedly spreading misinformation, even though I was talking about stuff like this specifically going to happen if these things start going. Well, it turns out we only had to wait a few days to get all this stuff confirmed. And it's kind of sad. It really is. I ended up leaving the server a few days ago. I realized it's probably not correct to actually get threatened by, the head person of that server and generally stay around. Even if you don't get banned from a place like that, if you've been threatened by the person who runs it, it kind of leaves a bad taste in the mouth. So I ended up just leaving because I think that was the right thing. But in the case of this, when it comes to what Gaijin have done here, they have technically gone forward with their legal right. It'll be interesting to see if there is any retaliation legally from Olivia or from anybody else who might end up with one of these two, and also what will happen to the rest of the leaking community, because there are many different people and many different cogs in the machine, and some of them just like to talk about content and like to talk about what's coming, and some of them have very obvious agendas, and I think that has been the problem for the longest time. For me personally, I've never leaked anything that is coming in War Thunder. I don't think that's right to do. I only really cover the public information that is there from other people, because it's not right. If I'm running a product, which when it comes to like my job stuff, we do run products, we create things, and if somebody leaked all of the information around that product before it came out and we weren't able to market it or we weren't able to present it how we wanted to, it would annoy the hell out of me, because technically that is a loss right there, because I cannot market it, I cannot talk about it how I want to, I cannot ramp up what the different content is, because it's already all out there and people now believe it as gospel. Even to the point now where we've had several leaks from people, such as the 5th generation jet stuff, the VT4 controversy that happened. We had the fact that even last year there was a problem where some of the leakers, in retaliation to something last Christmas, decided to leak the fact that Gaijin were looking to reduce the amount of SL that people earned and therefore squeeze the economy and make it worse for people. And all of these things were denied by Gaijin employees, especially the SL one, because they're like, why the hell would we do that? It's like, it doesn't even make any sense to. But these three things, and also many others that were talked about, were obviously done in quite an inflammatory matter. So when it's just a neutral, okay, looks like these are the things that are going to happen, but then when ego starts getting involved, when stuff such as these types of things start getting involved, and you start trying to direct the community in certain ways to go after Gaijin, to be able to push changes or to get people riled up, that is when Gaijin is going to get involved. Because it turns out you can only kick a dog so many times before it bites you. And I think we're at that stage right now. Olivia might be the first that has been hit with this, because they are the most visible and also the one who does the most future leaking. But if I was all of the other leakers, I would be a bit worried right now, and I'd start considering what they were going to do in the future. It was sad to see the reaction when it came to the announcement of the Christmas leaks, because even then it was something which kind of showed the problem, where the leakers were saying, oh, as a gift to Gaijin, we won't leak the Christmas update, as if they had the power in this situation. And unfortunately right now, we're going to actually see who has the power, and it turns out it's the person who writes the rules, it's the person who owns the product, and it's the person who has the ability to shut it all down. And it sucks, because both of these things worked in unison for such a long time, and it worked perfectly. It was really, really nice. It was cool to see some of the information, and then there'll be some like hidden stuff which turns up, and it'll be really cool to see. But now, that's not the case. Now we know everything before it comes out, and it's also just tinged with a bit of aggression. Hopefully we get back to the kind of balance that we had previously. Hopefully people like Zabby aren't affected by this. I know Zabby personally has put a lot of work into the tools that he's created when it comes to War Thunder. He runs several websites, several spreadsheets that have so much information for War Thunder players, much more than the War Thunder wiki has. But at the same time, who knows? According to Olivia, who has also thrown Zabby under the bus here, he does exactly the same thing as she does. So, that sucks. As always, let me know your opinions. Hope you all have a wonderful day. And I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank GMG Smiley, CD Beans, Chieftain Mike, EMN3 Galaxy, Tulio Pontecovo, Brendan Quinn, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Ozzy Panzer, Alan Hacker, Liam Shear, Opium Prime, Lafouche, Sem Aslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.